Most people believe intelligence leads to wealth. That assumption is wrong. Not partially wrong, structurally wrong. Some of the most intelligent individuals remain financially average for their entire lives, not because they lack capability, not because they lack opportunity, but because their minds are optimized for outcomes that do not produce leverage. This channel is not about motivation. It is about mental architecture. And today, we are dismantling one of the most persistent beliefs in modern society, the belief that intelligence is a reliable path to financial dominance. It is not. Intelligence is valuable, but it is not decisive, and in many cases, it becomes a liability. Intelligent people are trained from an early age to value understanding. They are rewarded for analysis, for insight, for precision, for complexity. They learn that the person who sees more nuance is superior, that the person who asks better questions is safer, that the person who delays action until clarity is complete is responsible. Over time, this conditioning creates a silent distortion, a distortion that feels rational, feels disciplined, feels mature, but produces stagnation. They begin to believe that if they understand more, they will earn more, that if they refine the idea long enough, success will eventually follow, that if they wait until the model is perfect, risk will disappear. This belief system creates a dangerous loop. Information replaces action. Optimization replaces exposure. Preparation replaces positioning. And because the individual is intelligent, the loop feels productive. It is not. Wealth does not reward understanding. It rewards positioning under uncertainty. Markets do not compensate clarity. They compensate presence. High intelligence often leads to overanalysis, to perfectionism, to excessive scenario modeling, but more importantly, it leads to identity attachment. The intelligent individual begins to protect the image of being smart, of being precise, of being correct. This creates avoidance, avoidance of imperfect action, avoidance of public failure, avoidance of environments where intelligence alone is insufficient. As a result, execution slows, exposure shrinks, leverage never compounds. Not because the person cannot act, but because acting threatens the identity they've built. Intelligence is raw processing power. It allows you to see patterns, to absorb complexity, to reason through systems. Wealth, however, is an output of decision architecture. Decision architecture determines what you act on, when you act, how often you act, and what feedback you allow to shape future behavior. Without structure, intelligence fragments. It explores instead of committing. It compares instead of selecting. It optimizes instead of deploying. This is why intelligent people often appear busy while producing little momentum. They are not lazy. They are not incapable. They are misaligned. Wealthy operators are not necessarily smarter. They are architecturally superior. They do not rely on intelligence to carry them forward. They rely on systems that limit decision fatigue and enforce movement. They design fewer decisions, clearer constraints, and irreversible paths. This is not brilliance, it is control. Control over behavior, control over environment, control over exposure. And control compounds faster than insight ever will. The first architectural difference is constraint over freedom. Intelligent people seek optionality. They want flexibility. They want to keep doors open. They believe freedom increases opportunity. In reality, freedom delays commitment. Wealth builders impose rules. They limit choices intentionally. They decide in advance what they will not do, what they will ignore, what they will execute even when uncomfortable. Constraint forces momentum. Freedom invites hesitation. When options are limited, energy concentrates. When options are endless, energy disperses. Intelligent people often confuse freedom with power. Wealth builders understand that constraint creates force. The second architectural difference is position over effort. Effort is visible. Effort is respected. Effort feels virtuous. But effort is not what markets reward. Position is rewarded. Where you operate matters more than how hard you think. What systems you enter matters more than how much effort you apply within them. Two people can exert equal effort. One compounds, the other plateaus. The difference is not intensity, it is placement. Intelligent people often try to outwork systems that are poorly positioned. Wealth builders move toward systems that multiply even moderate effort. Effort sustains, position scales. The third architectural difference is systems over identity. Intelligent people protect their intelligence. They protect the image of competence. They protect the narrative of being above average. This makes them fragile. Wealth operators protect their systems. They allow the system to absorb failure. They allow the process to improve without personalizing mistakes. They do not tie self-worth to outcomes. Systems compound. Identity stagnates. When identity is on the line, risk becomes emotional. When systems are in place, risk becomes mathematical. Wealth prefers the latter. Now consider your own behavior, not abstractly, specifically. Are you consuming more than deploying? Are you reading, researching, and refining while delaying real exposure? Are you optimizing ideas that never face the market? Are you protecting your self-image as a thinker instead of building leverage as an operator? These are not moral questions, they are structural ones. The goal is not to think less. The goal is to design your environment so thinking leads to movement. Reduce inputs, increase exposure. Design rules that remove choice. Rules eliminate hesitation. Hesitation erodes momentum. This is not about working harder. It is not about discipline through force. It is about removing mental friction. Friction comes from excess choice, from identity protection, from environments that reward understanding more than execution. When friction is removed, behavior aligns automatically. This is the foundation of durable performance. Wealth is not a reward for intelligence. It is the result of mental architecture aligned with reality. Reality rewards presence. Reality rewards repetition. Reality rewards positioning under uncertainty. If your mind is built for understanding instead of positioning, you will remain financially average regardless of how smart you are. This channel exists to rewire that architecture.